Alright, what is up everybody? The Mummy Dust here. So now that the Kingdom Cup is out of the way, we are on to bigger and greater things, aka the Nightmare Cup. So on the screen I have an infographic from the folks over at GamePress. So they kind of go through all of these things. I'm not going to claim to go into any great numbers or anything like that, but they do make this great infographic for us to go over. So, with it only being three types, normally you are going to see a couple of each type on people's teams. Usually it's one dark, one psychic, and one fighting type. So, depending on what you like best, there are a bunch of different options. So far, I'm trying out quite a few of them. So the fighting types are obviously going to beat the dark type are going to beat the psychic, and Spiritomb somewhere in the middle. Spiritomb does have good matchups against the fighting types. This arrow doesn't really show that, but it definitely takes out the psychics. You're going to want to use your dark type to try and take out your opponent's Spiritomb. As for the psychics go, you can either use Xatu, a flying type, or a Alolan Raichu over there. He's a little bit different. Or you can use my favorite so far, Claydol. The confusion users hit really heavy on the fighting type, so that's something to be really wary of. You don't want to, get your Toxicroak locked in, getting hit by confusion, or things like that. And also, side note, if your Hypno doesn't know Shadow Ball, you might want to look at one of the other options for your Psychic type as well. Then we have some wild cards like Lucario, Alolan Raichu dealing out some high damage with those electric moves, as well as Shiftry using Razor Leaf. As you all know, Razor Leaf is just extremely OP. And then you have Murkrow, which is kind of too squishy really to be talked about, but it can have some positive matchups against the fighting types that the other darks do not. So we're going to go ahead and get into some videos here as to some of the things I'm trying out. I haven't tried out Toxicroak, and hopefully I'm able to get a Shadow Ball Hypno. If not, I'm definitely going to be using Claydol, and you'll see why here in a little bit. So first we go into the first matchup. We have Xatu versus Drapion. This is not a good matchup, so I'm going to switch out into Lucario. And then he immediately switches out into Xatu. So I'm at a big disadvantage, but as long as I play right, I think I can win. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off this power-up punch, trying to bait the shield, and I get it. So then, now that I'm powered up, I am going to shield this. It is going to be a aerial ace. But now I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball. And do I get it? I do. So, kind of some mind games there. He probably thought I was going to go for another power-up punch. He brings in his Toxicroak, which easily wipes out my Lucario. I'm going to wait out the clock here for a little bit. And I'm going to bring in my Xatu, which has a great matchup, double resist the fighting. I am going to be able to just build up some energy here. I'm not too worried about this charge move here, but I do shield. I guess I realized that if he did the Sludge Bomb, it would take me out, but I really wanted to farm up some energy, and I risk it, and it looks like it paid off for me. So now I've got a bunch of energy farmed up for whatever comes in. I'm going to use Ominous Wind because he's pretty much forced to shield no matter what. Hopefully I can get a boost. He doesn't shield, and then look how much energy I had built up. I go straight into another one, and obviously he's going to shield here. And I think this is a crunch. It should probably take me out. Yep, crunch. And then we still have our own Drapion, and obviously that's a huge health advantage there. So we are going to be able to win this first matchup. Drapion, I think, is my favorite dark type so far. He has a lot of utilization. You can either use Bite to kind of wear your enemies down with a fast move, or you can use my favorite, Infestation, to charge up those charge moves fast. So we go straight into the second battle. He leads Drapion this time. I lead Claydol. This is terrible for me, so I'm going to bail immediately into my Hitmonchan. And I'm getting in a good amount of punches here. Get that power-up punch off, and he takes it, and I'm not sure. A shield here. Probably shouldn't have. Either way, it wasn't going to do too much damage to me. And he brings in his own Hitmonchan. I am powered up at the moment, so I do have a slight disadvantage or a slight advantage there. And hit him with a power-up punch, and he's going to hit me with a power-up punch. So since Medicham is banned, we're kind of stuck with either Hitmonchan, Toxicroak, or Poliwrath. Obviously, if you have the Legacy Poliwrath, you're going to use that. It seems like Toxicroak might be the best option, but so far I'm trying all of them out, including Bubble Poliwrath. I kind of like it. It's got some really good utilization against like everything else. So we're going to wait out the clock here so we don't get hit by a bunch of fast moves before we can even do anything. And I should have brought in Claydol. Wasn't sure exactly what I was thinking at this point, but build up a little bit of energy on my Drapion for whatever comes in next, which is his Drapion, and we're going to be able to take it out with an Aqua Tail. And then he should bring in his fighting type, which is Toxicroak, which is easily going to take out my Drapion. But guess who we got sitting in the back? Yes, Claydol. And watch how fast and how easily this Claydol takes out Toxicroak. Oh, he does hit me with a charge move first, which I think actually almost faints me. No, that must have been a different match. 1, 2. 2 confusions. 2 fast moves takes out Toxicroak. And the cool thing about Claydol is it does have access to a ground move, where Bronzong does not. And we're going to go into another battle where I start off with a Alolan Muck. I just wanted to see if I would win this kind of battle of the dark poison types. I did have access to Acid Spray, so I figured once I hit this Acid Spray, I should really start ramping up. I'm not sure that I like Alolan Muck, so he's probably not going to make the cut, but he is pretty cool. Especially since he only has one weakness, which really doesn't exist here. But he doesn't really have the firepower, I think. Kind of like Drapion does, or Umbreon's got that bulk, as well as if you have Last Resort, he's really good as well. So we do end up winning, but we are down a shield. He brings in his Toxicroak, so I am going to switch to Xatu. Probably should have done that a little bit faster. But you live and learn. Here's a Mud Bomb, so I'm not going to shield that. Barely does anything to me. And I am just going to farm up some energy here again. Actually, go for an Ominous Wind. And he shields it. I'm not sure exactly why, but I'm going to go ahead and take this Sludge Bomb. For whatever reason, I probably should have shielded there. But I go ahead and take it, and then in comes his third Pokemon, which should be his Psychic, or his Fighting type, I'm sorry. And we're just on a 1v1 matchup, and I think I have Alolan Muck in the background. And I do have a shield here, so we're going to go ahead and throw that up. And unfortunately, we got a couple Hitmonchan versus Hitmonchan matchups there, and I'm going to take this one. And down goes Hitmonchan. So far, out of the ones that I've tried so far, I like Poliwrath a little bit better than Hitmonchan. I just feel like the bubbles are a little bit more useful, like, overall. I really wish I had a Mud Shot one, because that's just kind of like spamming Power-Up Punch. But here we're in a really bad matchup again with Xatu. So I'm going to farm up a little bit, and then I'm going to switch into that Poliwrath. And we're going to kind of just see it go to town here, because he switches into Toxicroak. And Toxicroak really can't do too much against Poliwrath, where Toxicroak can kind of take out Hitmonchan a lot easier. So we're going to go ahead and go for the Ice Punch. hoping that he thinks it's another power-up punch. But he does shield it, so good shield on his part. I am going to shield here because I should definitely be able to beat him to the next charge move. So he's either forced to burn all of his shields or he's got to let his Toxicroak faint. He actually beats me to it, so I do have to burn my other shield, but here we're going to go for the KO. Probably should have power up punched because it wouldn't have made a difference. It would have still killed him if it connected, and then it would have powered me up. So that's a mistake on my end. Some things I have to learn. But now we're going to really be able to ramp up against this Umbreon, or the Xatu, because Xatu can't do anything against Umbreon. It's just a complete wall. It's kind of like Bastiodon and Altaria. You're just going to be able to farm up a bunch of energy. I do make the mistake here of using a Dark Pulse, but I do burn the shield, so I'm going to be able to farm up. But he switches out into Drapion, and he immediately has a charge move ready. So it was actually a good thing that I couldn't switch. Well, it let me switch, I guess. But I had an aerial ace ready. Anyways, so we're all okay here. I think this is a crunch, and this is definitely going to take me out. See, Xatu just gets absolutely mauled if he gets hit by a charge move. But then we have Umbreon, and we got that Dark Pulse ready. So there we go. We're able to take out the Xatu, and then we're going to go into the next match, and this next match should feature Claydol. Oh, he's got a Spiritomb, and I have Drapion, so it's actually a favorable, it's kind of an even matchup, but you really want your Dark type to be going up against the Spiritomb, if at all possible. So I am able to get to my Aqua Tail first. Infestation just charges so fast, and he chooses not to block there. Ominous Wind's not really going to do anything to me at all, so I'm just praying that he doesn't get the boost, because if he does, it's pretty much game over, especially that early on. So I am going to get another Aqua Tail off on it, and we're going to be able to take out the Spiritomb. Spiritomb, I don't like Spiritomb as a lead. He's kind of better, coming in somewhere in the middle, really good switch-in type option, things like that, where some Pokemon like Alolan Raichu are really dependent on the lead. I think Drapion is a great lead. I think Xatu is a great lead. You just obviously have to watch out for, your direct weakness. And it is interesting because, as of right now, it is pretty much all the things I've seen is one Psychic, and look at this Claydol just go to town. One Psychic, one Dark, one Fighting type. So if you're able to pull off like multiple Dark types, maybe with a Spiritomb and a Fighting type, you can kind of make their Psychic type useless in a way. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, I'm really liking Claydol as an option. Hopefully I can get Shadow Ball Hypno to try it out. But, Claydol is pretty bulky. He's got, access to a kind of fast move and Gyro Ball. And he's also got access to a really good move that's super effective against Poison and Earthquake. So if you don't have Shadow Ball Hypno, I recommend giving Claydol a try. So there, we're going to go ahead and take out this. Watch how close this is. This Toxicroak, this looks like it's going to kill me. But it doesn't. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Please make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.